Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build, and today I am sharing with you a science lab, which I am really excited about. I think it turned out really cool, so I hope you guys will like it too. I actually built this for my Not So Berry challenge, so that means I built this a very long time ago, but I'm just now sharing it with you guys because I recently had to do some updates on my computer. My graphics card started to fail and we had all kinds of problems, but no biggie. I ordered a new one and I've been messing around with it, and I also had just some other stuff come up and preoccupy my time. So yeah, sorry videos have been a little bit scarce, but I am finally taking the time to edit this video. The reason I didn't share it with you guys right after I made it is because my editing software for some reason decided the files were missing even though they weren't. I could see them on my computer. They were in the same location that I saved them from, or where I uploaded them from, where I saved them to, so they were, they hadn't gone anywhere. But yeah, no biggie. I just decided to set it aside. I was like, I'll come back to this later because this is very annoying. And so now I finally did. Since I wasn't making videos this week, I was waiting for my graphics card to get here. I took the time to re-edit this footage, and it did take a while because this build was a long one, and that's why the build is such a long video, but it wasn't a very good one to split up into two parts. I got some feedback from you guys a while back saying that you guys don't really mind two-part videos, and I would much rather keep my videos to one parts if possible, and this one I was definitely probably going to split up. But I didn't really build it in a way that I thought made sense to split it up into two videos. Since I kind of built it in pieces, I started with the entrance and sort of did some landscaping and then jumped to the interior and then finished the exterior and then jumped back to the interior. It was like kind of a mess. I feel like it'd be much easier to split it up into two parts if I had the whole exterior done and then just went to the interior. That way there was a clear line where to split it up, but I don't know, I didn't think it was that clear, so I did speed it up by a percentage more than I normally speed up my videos. So if it's too fast, let me know and I'll just remember that for future videos. But it shaved off by like several minutes of the video, so I was like, I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit more, and hopefully it doesn't make you guys sick or anything, but definitely let me know if you guys think it is too fast. Then yeah, I won't speed anything up this quick again. But yeah, I am really excited to finally share it with you guys. I mean, you may have seen it before if you watch my Not So Very challenge, or if you follow me on the gallery. It has been up there for 2 months, I would say, and we've seen it in the challenge as well. So yeah, it's a really cool science lab. I knew I wanted to add certain things to it, so I kind of kept that in mind as I was building it. But one of the things I really like is the sign that I made in the entrance with the one that was actually for the hospital. I sized up the little plaque and moved it, use move objects to move it up over the little hospital symbol, and I think it looks really cool. And then I moved the astronaut over there later, and I think that just adds to it. It looks super sciencey, and I just kind of like the whole construction of the build and the windows I used, just every little detail. I had a lot of fun with it. It was something I've wanted to build for a very long time, and I figured since I was starting the challenge and that was going to be the first generation career, I thought I would just go ahead and just make it my own, make it really interesting, because the build that was here already, I don't know, I didn't really like it that much. It's kind of a dingy warehouse, and I like the location. I like it that it's all out in the desert, and it's kind of like, uh-oh, what do they got going on here, like Area 51 stuff. So I think that's pretty cool, but the build wasn't that interesting, so I definitely wanted to make something that was my own. And yeah, I think it turns out really cool, and it is 2 stories also. I probably should have furnished the second story, but it would have took me 20 hours to do. So the second story only has, it's just an open floor, and then there's a staircase that lead to the platforms, because one platform has the rocket ship and the other platform has the observatory, I think, or is it the telescope? Is it called the telescope or an observatory? I'm not really sure. But, each platform has one of those, and so there's staircases leading up there. So you could potentially, copy rooms from the downstairs to the upstairs if you wanted to just duplicate a couple of rooms to make more workspace, or you could add other rooms. I mean, if you're really invested in the career and you want a special room just for cloning or for teleportation or whatever, for traveling to SimLicy, or I don't know, you could probably do some really cool stuff. So the second story is completely up to you if you guys want to do anything with it, but I just kind of thought the building would look better as a 2-story building and didn't really have too much of an intention of furnishing the second story, because the downstairs, the first story, is really big. There's a lot of rooms, there's a full gym, there's a full cafeteria, there's 2 offices, there's 4 bathrooms, what else is there? There's Did I say boardroom already? I think I might have. But anyways, you guys will see it. We'll get there in a little while. But something I really liked is how I did this gravel terrain paint to do kind of like the sidewalk area around the building. I think it looks really cool because originally I was going to do like concrete paths, and I feel like this just blends in a lot nicer with the world and just makes a lot of sense and looks pretty cool. So yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you guys think. And I also really like the way I did the landscaping. I just used a lot of like tropical, more deserty looking plants, some palm trees and a few bushes, but I also mixed in some alien plants too, which I thought was kind of cool. And I also kind of made a couple little like swamp kind of waste ponds. I don't know what exactly you would call them. I did one on the back and then one on the little gated side area, and I have some like alien plants growing out of those, and thought that maybe they were like just kind of waste from the building. You know, on The Simpsons where like the power plant drains off into the pond? That's kind of what I was imagining for this build, so I thought that was kind of fun. So yeah, I had fun with it. Definitely had a lot of fun with this build. It's one of my favorites. But now we are jumping on to the interior. Even though the exterior isn't finished, I do furnish the little area right here that's like kind of like the lobby entrance, and there's the first set of bathrooms right here. The second set of bathrooms that's on the opposite side of the building that's just regular bathrooms, I don't show those, so these ones are pretty much the same as those, so you're not missing out on anything, but you'll see everything in the screenshots. But there is another set of bathrooms that I do share with you guys, but that's just because I think they're really cool. They're like decontamination bathrooms, well, decontamination like shower rooms. I imagine that we're gonna play pretend, but we pretend that the Sims have to go in there and they have to like shower off and like get all like sanitized before they can actually go into their work area. Maybe they have to put on like hazmat suits or something. That's what I imagine, so you guys will see that in a little bit, but I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, so it's just I like it. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. And yeah, I just really like the lobby area. And oh, if you're having any problems, if you do download this from the gallery and there's not a receptionist showing up and using the desk, or there's like any issues with that, there's a little name plaque that I do put on the desk that I was having trouble with, and once I just moved that out of the way and it just automatically snapped to its regular spot on the counter, it seemed to work just fine. A receptionist showed up, was able to use the desk, and everything worked properly. I think I saved the correct one to the gallery, but if you do download it and there's not a receptionist, just move the plaque. It's the only problem. It's just for some reason blocks the computer, and when the computer is blocked, then it doesn't like tell the game that there needs to be a receptionist on the lot. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think this build turned out really cool. It has a mix of industrial / modern vibes to it. I end up putting these metal bars behind the desk, which I think really like add to the industrialness of it, but still makes it look modern at the same time. I don't know. I think it looks really cool, and I don't know. I'm just pretty proud of this build, and I don't know. That's probably why it ended up being so long, because I didn't want to cut like anything out. I was like, no, I was like, I want to share as much of this as possible because I put a lot of effort into it. I tried to make it really detailed, and I don't know. Hopefully it was worth it. But I had a lot of fun with it, and do a little bit of seating area out here in the lobby. I don't know. I kind of imagined as if there would be like tours or something, or visitors every once in a while to the lab, and they'd have like magazines and somewhere for you to sit down and wait for your tour, or if you were there for an interview or something. I mean, none of this would actually happen in game, but it's fun to think about. And I definitely had a lot of fun cluttering up the desk, putting little like personal items around and like work clutter and stuff, making it look like a Sim was there busy at work and kind of just left their few things kind of strung about. But there's also like a picture frame, so maybe it's like their kids photo or like their family photo or something like that. So I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, and something else that I did that I also liked, you know, the debug, it's like the debug plaques for a baby alien that you get from the hospital when you have your alien baby at the hospital. It's like this glowy green hand. I put those by like every entrance almost, imagining that they had to get like fingerprint scanned or something to go into the building. So I thought that was kind of cool too. And I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with it and just let my imagination kind of run wild. I really enjoy these type of builds, and I really want to rebuild the other like work locations that came with Get to Work, like the police station and the hospital. I did rebuild the hospital a very long time ago, shortly after I bought The Sims 4. So it's not on YouTube because I didn't do YouTube at that point, but it's on the gallery if you guys are interested. I mean, if it's not very good, I apologize. I wasn't as good of a builder then. I mean, I think I did okay on it. I actually really like the detail I put on it, but maybe it's not perfect. I definitely want to rebuild it eventually, but I think at some point, hopefully in the Not So Berry Challenge, I know you have to be a policeman at some point, so I know I'll probably rebuild it at that point. But the I'm not sure if the hospital is part of the generations or not. I need to read, kind of keep in mind what's coming towards the future, so if there's bigger builds like this, I can kind of plan for them and figure out exactly what I want to do. But either way, even if it's not in the generation, I definitely, or in any of the generations, I definitely want to rebuild those. I think it'd be so fun. But yeah, it kind of took me a while to figure out this reception area, like what I should put behind the counter. But something that I found, but I only found it because I was filtering through the get to work items, is the little fan that's like a desk fan. And it's such a cool item. I always forget about it, but I love it. And why isn't it like a functioning object? It would be so cool if it just like blew cool air on your sim and like, I don't know, gave them a little moodlet of like a cool breeze and just made them feel all like comfortable. Or it's such a cool object, but I have no idea where it is actually in the catalog without filtering through the get to work items. I'm not really sure exactly where it is, but it's a cool item. So I definitely was happy to use that, and I should try to remember to use that a lot more, because it's a pretty realistic thing to have. I mean, I usually have a fan on my desk, and we have like other fans, like especially when we lived in California because it was really hot. So I don't know, especially a place like Oasis Springs or out here in the desert where the science lab is, I imagine a fan would come in handy. But this is the entryway to the actual lab area, and at this point I decided to have 2 hallways because I was going to make like separate entryways and like have it kind of split off, but I ended up not doing that later on. So I do fiddle with the structure a little bit off camera, so it'll be just one single hallway later on. But yeah, these are the decontamination bathrooms where you would have to shower off when you got to work and put on your hazmat suits or your, I guess, just lab coats, because that's all they wear. I mean, there are like cooler outfits later on further in the scientist career, which I am really excited to get to, like the alien hunter suit, and there's like that one that looks like a crazy mad scientist. I believe it has like a mechanical arm. Am I remembering that correctly? But I think there is. So that'll be a lot of fun to get to. And yeah, I also added a couple closets in here honestly, just for woohoo places, because I don't know, I figured you never know what kind of mischief Sims will get into at work. I mean, you can do it in the rocket ship and the observatory, right? I believe in both of those places. So yeah, I don't know. I put one in the hospital when I built it a long time ago, so I figured I'd just add them in here, and kind of makes sense for these change rooms. So yeah, I think they turned out really cool. But something I should mention, it's kind of a silly thing, but it's like my favorite part of the build, or at least in my top 3 favorite like areas of the build, is the hallway in front of these leading to the decontamination rooms. Like just as you exit the the lobby area, it's just such a cool room to me. I think I decorate that next. I hope that I do, because I think it's just such a cool area because it looks so realistic. Like I could imagine if you showed up at one of these labs and you had to go on a tour, and you would like go and walk through this long hallway, and they would have some of their work on display, and it was all clean and tidy. It just, I don't know exactly what it is, but I just like it. I think it looks really neat. So you guys will have to let me know if I'm just being silly, or if you guys like it too. But I put this display case with like a crystal in it and a couple fossils, and I just think it looks really neat. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, and yeah, you can't forget those little what do you call it? Are they satellites? Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Satellite dishes around the building. But this is the hallway I was talking about. So later on, there will be one door because there's only one entrance. And I think that looks a lot better too. And of course, the little hand printy things next to the door so you can get in, you have access. But I put the display case right here, and I just think, I don't know. I'm probably being silly. It's probably not that cool of an area. It's really simple. It's probably the most simple area in the entire build. But it just looks right. I don't know. I sound silly. I am silly. Okay. But I like it, so whatever. I'll quit talking about it. But I also really like the greenhouse that I added. I shared a couple of pictures right after I built this on Twitter. So if you do follow me on Twitter, you may have seen those. And I shared a picture of the greenhouse because it just looked so cool. Like with the lighting, it just looks really nice. And you may catch a glimpse of the open beam area above the lobby. That's something that I did cut out, but it wasn't that exciting. I just used some like low-lying fences to kind of carve out some beams and just try to make it look a little bit more interesting. But if you decide to use the second floor for actually like something like purposeful, then you may want to close that off into a regular room and not have it open. Or maybe you could do like a railing around it and you could see down through the lobby. That would be pretty cool. But anyways, I'm making a special room for, what is that? The claw machine. the Invention Constructor. Is that what it's called? I think so. But I think this little room looks really cool. I like the shape of it, and I like that I use different windows, and it kind of adds a bit of dimension to the building, because at this point I was using kind of the same windows and same kind of structure, and it just makes it look a little bit different. And then I was going to use these giant statue things for the greenhouse. I believe this came with Get Together. I use them a lot for my greenhouses when I build like regular family homes, just to kind of cover up the plants and stuff. But I end up going with the Get Together dance floors in the end with some big modern windows, and I think it looks really cool and lets in a lot of light. And I did put in some just plants in there. I think I just took them out of the debug menu. I don't remember exactly, but I kind of just picked random ones. So if you want to go through and pick different ones, something that might be a little bit more helpful for the scientist career, because I couldn't remember and didn't really want to pick things that were too helpful for the scientist career, because I felt like that was a little bit cheaty. So I kind of just picked random ones and a couple alien plants for fun. And so yeah, I'm not really sure what's all in there. I think just like a couple of trees and some flowers, and a kind of a mixture of everything though. So I'm sure there's some things that are helpful and some things that you will never have to use. But yeah, I really like the way it turned out, and I knew I wanted to add that. And then over on the left side of the building right here is where the offices are going to be, and it ends up being two, and I only show the furnishing of one of them because they're pretty much identical. I copied over a lot of the furniture, but you'll see both of them in the screenshots. I mean, they are different, but the furniture is all the same, just kind of placed a little differently. But yeah, I really like those a lot. And this is where the platform is for the giant telescope, or observatory, I believe is what we call it in game. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I kind of feel like it's a bit unrealistic to have that big of equipment sitting right on top of the building, but maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's a super reinforced, really strong structured building. I don't know. And then the rocket ship over there, which I used one of the like more advanced rocket ships just because I feel like, I don't know, it just looks a lot cooler. So I wanted to have, it's like one that you have to unlock, I believe. I'm not sure what it's called or how to tell you how different it is. I just know you have to unlock it, and the other one you don't have to unlock. So yeah, I thought that'd be a bit of fun. But this is one of the ponds I was talking about. And I make the water green and add some like mossy or algae looking plants and make it just kind of look all grody. And I also have this pipe coming out of the wall that's like pouring whatever kind of waste material from the science lab into the water. So yeah, who knows what kind of creatures you might find in the pond. I thought that was pretty fun. So I hope you guys will like that too. This one kind of has like a low-lying kind of trickle. It's, I don't know, the other fountain works a little bit better on the other side of the building, but you'll see me play test them and try to find ones that work and kind of look like they're actually coming out of the tube rather than coming from the ground up. But yeah, I think this one looks a little bit better because it's just a little bit taller. But yeah, I like them both. I think they're pretty cool. And as you can tell, I did skip over that back landscaping, but it's pretty much just the same as the front. There's a little area for your Sims to hang out and play chess and kind of sit down, but and there's just like the gravel terrain paint all around the building, same plants, and nothing too exciting, but you'll see everything in the screenshot, so don't worry. But this is the boardroom, and something I definitely wanted to add in this build, and I loved that little sign right there with the pie chart on it. I was like, this is absolutely perfect. It looks like some Sim is presenting their data, you know, to their other coworkers, and yeah, I thought it was a perfect area for your Sims to collaborate and discuss projects. And I mean, not that they will, but you could have your Sims sit here and talk to one another and pretend that they're talking about a project and a presentation or something. But yeah, also something I really liked is I built this right after Cats and Dogs came out, or shortly after, and so I remembered that there was a debug objects that have like the little files for the veterinary career that's for like, you know, the animal charts. So I put those strung about, kind of look like they are, you know, your Sims work, and some of the folders are kind of open and they got notes and stuff taken on. So I thought that was really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this room. I mean, it's pretty simple, but I think it looks really nice. I add a bit of work clutter around, and I think a little chair or something against the wall, and a couple of plants, and nothing too exciting, but I think it looks really nice. And yeah, definitely pretty cool. And then it leads into the cafeteria, which is also a really nice room. I think it looks super modern, and I don't know, I think it looks really nice. So hopefully you guys will too. But yeah, I'm really happy that I am finally sharing it with you guys. I was so discouraged when I had the issues when I first edited it. Like, I seriously had everything ready. I had a cool fly through, I had the voiceover done, I had everything ready to go, went to save it, and it's just like, no, these files don't exist. And I was like, are you kidding me? If I would have been a little bit more tech savvy, maybe I could have figured it out, but I am definitely not. And yeah, it was really irritating. And so But I am happy that I'm finally sharing with you guys, because I honestly was like, I don't even know if I'm ever going to share this, but since I had the time this week to go back through it and rewatching the footage, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, this is a cool build. I was like, I really like it, and I'm really excited to share it again. But yeah, this is the cafeteria. I just put up some like kind of sciencey looking posters, somewhere for your Sims to sit down and eat their lunch, and there's a full kitchen, so you don't have to like buy a gross sandwich or like heat up a whatever they have, like when you have like the little cooler at the original science lab where you have to like buy the snacks. I just figured, why not just have a full-on kitchen? I imagine, you know, you could just bring your sack lunch to work and put it in the refrigerator and cook whatever you want. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and I think it looks really nice. It's really gray, probably the grayest kitchen I've ever made, but I think it looks really nice, and yeah, super modern. And it also leads into a hallway that has like connects to the offices, it connects to the work area, and then also the gym as well. The gym's pretty small, but I mean, it has 2 treadmills, and what else? I think a punching bag. So it's pretty small, but it's pretty cool as well. I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and yeah, I just added a couple of more pictures around the room, just trying to decorate it as much as I possibly could, and yeah, I think it turns out really nice. But now we are on into the gym area that I was talking about, and originally I was going to have the walls have these full-length mirrors on them, but I did change it later on, so you'll notice in the screenshots that the mirrors don't actually take up the entire wall. I just felt like it looked a little bit too glitchy as you were zoomed out and like actually playing in the build. I don't know, I just didn't like it as much. But if you prefer the full-length mirrors, then you can definitely change it back if you would like to. But yeah, I just think this works a little bit better, and I do end up adding some seating in here and a couple TVs and a couple of radios, I believe, as well. And I think I also added the drink trays that came with Spa Day, so that's pretty cool. There's also a couple radios in here and TVs, so if your Sims are bored at work, they can come in here and hang out and have a little Spa Day drink, watch some TV, listen to the radio, exercise. I do think you have to exercise a couple times for the scientist career. I'm not exactly sure what all you have to do. It's been a while since I've done that. I mean, I haven't got a chance to do that in the Not So Berry Challenge, but I have played the scientist career before, and I know they have you come and work out sometimes, but I forget exactly what you need to do. But I think I added everything that you would need, because you can look up on Google the lot requirements for these like lots that you aren't necessarily supposed to edit, like the other get to work locations, like the hospital and also the police station as well. So when you go in to edit these lots, you can't just go into it from the actual like where you would normally build. You'd go in from the main menu and you could just go to a lot and build. You have to actually go into game, have them join the scientist career, and go to the lot, and then you can build. So it doesn't tell you the lot requirements, which is kind of frustrating, but some people have figured it out for you. So if you Google search it and you want to, you know, build one of these lots for yourselves, it'll tell you all the lot requirements. But these are the office areas. So as you can see, I'm already like copying over some of the items, but when it comes down to like the actual detailing of the office, I only show the first one because everything else is pretty much just copied over. I'm just trying to figure out the layout for now, but as you can see, the second room is a different shape than this room that we're working on right now. So they are slightly different, but I think they look really cool. I mean, I wasn't really sure about them at the beginning because I felt like they were kind of bland, and I kind of wished I would add a little bit more color to them, but I don't know. They do match the rest of the building, so I guess it's fine, but yeah, these are definitely the rooms I wasn't as sure about after when I was done building. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I could have done a little bit better, but looking back, I think they look pretty cool, and yeah, I enjoyed taking the screenshots of them, so I hope you guys will like them as well. And yeah, it's definitely something I wanted to add because I think in a building like this, there would definitely be some like executive offices where the managers would work, where the, you know, the head honchos would be working and, you know, doing their research on the computer and meeting with whoever would come and have to talk to somebody at this facility. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And it's also really close to the back entrance, so I think there's 2 back entrances, so if your Sims need to go out and do anything outside, there's like so many ways to get outside, because I noticed when I was playing the scientist career a long time ago, when you have to go out collecting and fishing, or you have to go talk to tourists and stuff out by the road, it can take forever to get back into the building. So I made sure there was like, I think there's at least 5 entrances. There may be 6 or 7. There's so many entrances into this building. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But this is the main area as you go into the actual science lab. So a few more computers, just like a general work area for your Sims to do research. I noticed a lot of my Sims just sit here and have their lunch instead of the cafeteria. They put their salad on their keyboard and just browse the web, but whatever. But yeah, I think this actually turns out really nicely. It's one of my favorite parts of the build. I think it turns out really cool, and yeah, I don't know. I think it looks really nice. I think I put a coffee pot behind the workstation so your Sims could make a cup of coffee, do their research or whatever they have to do. And yeah, I think it turned out really nicely, and a bunch of work clutter as I did the other areas too. Just like, I don't know, I really wanted it to make it seem like Sims had just been working there, which I think, I don't know, I really like that realism and that little bit of detail of just kind of work clutter and stuff. Looks really nice. And I also really like that industrial fan, and I like that it actually functions, unlike that other fan I was talking about. The fan blades actually move. I don't think your Sims notice it at all or get any moodlet from it, but at least it functions. But as you can see, that entrance into this area is a one single hallway now. I had to do a lot of moving around with the actual structure of the building, so I did cut that all out. I don't even think I filmed it, to be honest, because yeah, that can take a little while, kind of moving everything over a few squares. But thankfully we have the room copy tool now, which makes things a lot easier. If you do have to move them over, you can just copy the entire room instead of dragging and moving every single little decoration. But yeah, now we are getting on into the actual lab areas where I have the science equipment, and there's one for the microscope, there's one for, oh, I'm trying to remember all the different little equipment names, but each little thing has its own room, and there isn't as many of them as I'd wanted. I definitely wanted a couple more of these microscopes, but there's only one. So I think if I was to add more rooms upstairs, I would definitely make another area for that, and probably like a cloning machine room, and maybe even, I don't know what I would add. Depends on what all you can build with the Invention Constructor, because I haven't made it that far in the scientist career. Even though I played it before the Not So Berry, I think I've only ever made it to maybe 4 or level 5, somewhere like halfway through the career. I've never got that high, so yeah, definitely excited to see all the things that come through that. But I put little like sink stations with just little clutter items to make it look like your Sims could wash their hands or just kind of get ready to do some work if they have to do any I don't know, touch any sensitive equipment. Their hands could be clean and not greasy and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I think I add one in every single room except for the room that has the experimenting tables. I'm struggling to think of what those are called, but it's the one that you like actually do experiments on. These ones are like the analysis machines, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to remember all the different little names, but I definitely really like these little rooms, and they each have the like security door on them, so if anything explodes or whatever, it stays confined in that room. I thought that they looked like bomb shelter doors or something, so I have them everywhere, at least into all of the actual work areas. So I thought that was really cool as well. And something that you'll notice, I have like the little like alien like pets. I don't know what you call those, but they look so cool. They're so funny. I had a lot of fun placing those, and I was happy I added them because in game they just look so silly, and they almost make like faces, and they move around all funny. And yeah, I really like those. Yeah, but something I just realized I haven't mentioned this entire video, and definitely something I wanted to mention. Since I was having issues with my graphics card and had to order a new one, I postponed my 10K special video. So if you still have questions for me, that video is still open for you guys to ask me questions, and then I will still answer them in a 10K special video. But since we have already passed, well, 10,000 and now 12,000, which I am so grateful for, you guys. By the way, that is amazing. I am so excited and so happy that there's so many new people to the channel. But yeah, I will still be making that video. It'll just might be titled something a little bit differently instead of 10K. That way it includes everybody who is new here. But yeah, I will still be doing some sort of a dream beach house or some sort of interesting build. Hopefully it'll be interesting anyway, and I will answer all of your guys' questions. So yeah, like I said, if you guys still have any questions for me, or if you just needed a little more time to think of something or whatever, that video is still open for questions. And yeah, I'm really excited to answer all those. I think it'll be so cool, and you guys can ask me anything from questions about myself to about YouTube, about the channel, whatever you guys are curious about, just to get to know me a little bit better. And yeah, I don't know, I'm really looking forward to it. But anyways, we are on into the Invention Constructor room, which I think is such a cool room. Like I said, I really liked that I use these different windows on it, and I also use these same windows in the office area. So I mean, they match the other half of the building. But yeah, I think they look really cool, and just kind of, you know, cluttered it up with the different little oxygen tanks and what other kind of tanks and different clutter items and work clutter, and have the sink in here as well. And I don't know, I think the room turns out really, really cool, and yeah, I'm happy with it. So I hope you guys will like it too. I think all these different little work areas turned out so neat, and they look unique and different, and they look like they look like something I think you would see in a science lab, especially one like this that you would do all kinds of experiments in and stuff. So I had a bit of fun in this little, oh, we skipped over it. I thought we were going to decorate it. But there's a little room that goes into the staircase that leads up to the rocket ship. It just has clutter in it, so if you wanted another sort of, you know, equipment room or some sort of experimenting room, you could definitely turn that into one, but I just kind of made it like a storage room or storage area. So yeah, just kind of cluttered up with that. But now we're on into the greenhouse, and look at the lighting. It's so pretty. Oh my god. I was so happy with this room. It turns out so cool. I just love it so much. And yeah, you will notice in the screenshots as I was playtesting it, a lot of the plants grew, but I believe the one uploaded to the gallery, the plants haven't grown yet, so you will have to take care of them and get them to grow yourselves. I think. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been forever, but yeah, I just kind of put garden clutter around here, and another one of those fans that I think are so cool, and just pipes and different little objects and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think it turns out really nice. And I also got the bonsai bush in here because I think it was in the old science lab, right? Was there a bonsai tree in there? I think there was. So figured why not? I'll include one in here as well. And yeah, I think it looks really cool. It has like a great view out into the back of the like lab area. You can see all the different equipment and stuff in the back, and also get a view of the chess tables and the hangout area. And I don't know, I think it looks really neat. And also got the industrial lamps hanging from the ceiling, which I like as well, and have a lot of industrial lights hanging from the ceiling throughout this entire build, which I think is such a cool touch. And yeah, I'm just really happy with the way it all came together, and happy to finally share it with you guys. But we are almost to the screenshot, so I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and hopefully it was kind of worth the wait maybe. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots, and thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!